Hey everybody, my name is Brandon. This is John. We're both software engineers from a company called Tormach. Our presentation today is really broken down into two primary sections. The first little bit, I'm just going to give you all a bit of context about who we are at Tormach, and then really try and set up John here to talk into detail about how we do real-time motion control with our ZA6 robot that you'll see here in a little bit. The primary goal for our presentation really is to give back to the ROS community. The library that John developed that we're going to be talking about today, we found to be incredibly valuable. In fact, that we built an entire product around it. So we're hoping that you will also see the value in it and want to leverage it in your projects as well. So at Tormach, traditionally we are a company who makes machine tooling and CNC machines. However, more recently, in the past couple of years, we started getting into the robotics space. I'll show you here in a second. Our general product strategy is we like to take the large, expensive manufacturing tools and shrink them down to make them more accessible to a wider range of consumers. So think, we tend to work a lot with small businesses and hobbyists, the people who might want to stand up a machine shop in their garage as a side hustle. But we also tend to work a lot with folks in academia as well. So researchers who are studying robotics with ROS, with our ZA6, but also folks who are teaching manufacturing to grade schools or technical schools with our other products. Our mission statement at Tormach is helping people make things. I wanted to show you some action shots of some of the things that we make to give you an idea. So here you can see a mill, a plasma table, lathe. We also make routers and the ZA6 robot arm that we're talking about today. Here you can see it doing a welding task. Just to give you an idea of what the ZA6 looks like and what it's capable of, I wanted to share this video with you. It's a video from 𝗥𝗶𝗶, who's at Georgia Tech, doing synchronized movement between these two ZA6s. This is all entirely powered by ROS. Shout out to Alex, that's really cool. So the ZA6, it's a 6 kilogram industrial robot arm, and it's fully powered by ROS. Our programming language for the ZA6 is Python, and all of our software is open source. So if you're interested in Linux kernel, real-time motion control, UI, it's available to you, and that also goes with our machine tools as well. And as we embarked on developing this product, we ran into all kinds of challenges, as I'm sure you all can imagine. But in particular, we found that we had a need for really low-level control to achieve high-performance motion control with the robot. And that tended to be really challenging, not only to develop, but to test for us as well. And then we added in additional requirements, such as getting motor feedback, which just adds to the challenge. And I think our friends at Picnic, Nathan here, sums it up really well. This is a question that we basically all ask with our robots as we set out on a new project, and having a solution to real-time motion control that we can solve more time on the fun stuff, like solving real-world problems. The good news with this is that our approach to this using machine kit HAL actually solves this. And the library that John developed, the HAL ROS Control bridge, bridges that gap between machine kit HAL and ROS1 and ROS2. So I'm going to hand it off to John now to jump into some of the technical details and show you all how it works and how you can apply it to your projects.
Thanks, Brandon. Okay, let's see. So Brandon was just telling you about machine kit HAL. Oh, I'm John Morris. So I'm a machine control software engineer at Tormach. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about machine kit HAL, what it'll do for you. Let's see. So machine kit HAL is HAL stands for hardware abstraction layer, of course. It's an offshoot of the Linux CNC. HAL, Linux CNC used to be called EMC, which came out of NIST in 1995. So it's got quite a pedigree. It's got a very active user and developer community. It's got great documentation. There's a really good user forum. So it's a very solid project. There are thousands of CNC machine tools out there in the world that are running Linux CNC, and And of course, Tormach sets CNC tools. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Machine Kit HAL here. It gives you a couple things. One of those things is the real-time threading environment. I hear a lot from our ROS developers, saying they got their hardware all connected and everything like that, and they start it up, and then they're having, if it's a high-performance motion control, they're having a performance issues, and they think it's real-time stuff, but they don't really, it's like now they have to go start digging in, to make some measurements and see what's going wrong, and it's just really hard, and it is really hard to program, all this stuff. So, you're going to have to pick your threads. You're going to have to, learn special techniques for programming in real-time critical sections of code. You're going to have to do a bunch of OS tuning and stuff like that. And if you're trying to do a high-performance motion controller, you're going to have to probably most of these things, if not all of them. And that's what Machine Kit HAL gives you first is all these things come out right out of the box there. Another thing Machine Kit HAL will give you it gives you a whole bunch of commonly used machine control functions in the form of these modular loadable components. We call them HAL components. And there's dozens or hundreds of them. Here's sort of a sampling of some of them. The ones that are outlined in blue here, we'll use those in the Tormach CNC and the robot HAL configurations. I'm going to walk you through a demo next that uses the ones outlined in orange here. Uses those three HAL components there. So I wanted to show you just a real simple demo. This is kind of a sort of a silly example. You can imagine some crazy machine operators trying to give their robot joint a command with a square wave. Okay, of course the joint has motors that have they're subject to velocity and acceleration constraints, and tries to keep up with that square wave command there. That on the right there, that's a HAL scope image showing you the command, and we're calling it feedback here. And so on the left there, that's the diagram of the demo, conceptual diagram that shows the basic concepts. On the left, we have the real-time thread that's operating at 1 kilohertz. It's executing these two update functions that are part of two real-time HAL components. Okay, these HAL components, they of course some function. Like you saw on the previous slide, HAL components have HAL pins, which are how they talk to each other within HAL. Some of them you set a value to configure the components, and other ones you connect together using HAL signals. And here's sort of the whole thing in motion here. The real-time thread is executing, runs those update functions. You see some pins get updated and signals. You can see the output on the HAL scope, and then it goes to sleep until a millisecond later. It wakes up again to start over again the next update cycle. Now that demo there and all HAL configurations are configured with the HAL configuration file, and this is the complete file for that demo there. They all pretty much do the same thing. You load in your HAL components. You set HAL pin values, or maybe you connect some HAL pins to other HAL pins with HAL signals. You initialize a real-time thread, add the HAL components update functions to it, and you start the thread. And now you've got your demo running, and it's that real-time 1 kilohertz thread, and doing whatever functions you've loaded. At some point, you might hit you might have some application where you're not able to do it with kind of what comes out of the box with HAL. So you're going to want to extend the functionality, and so we've got some APIs that'll help you write new HAL components with new functionality. So these are two listings for HAL components. They do the same thing. They're both HAL component implementing a 2-input AND logic gate. Okay, the one on the left, that's a real-time C API listing. The one on the right, that's a non-real-time Python listing. They both do the same things. You start by defining the HAL component. You set up a couple of input pins and the output pin, and then you have the computation that reads those pins, computes the AND, and then writes the output there. In the case of the C, you have to compile it. In the case of the Python, you just set executable as a script. Add that to your HAL config, connect those pins up and whatever, and now you've added new functionality to your machine control. Also, out of the box, you get a lot of tools for inspecting and updating running systems. You saw HAL scope on previous slides. You get data loggers. You get this command line tool where you can look at values. You can actually update the configuration while the system is running. It's really cool stuff. So as soon as you're done setting up your hardware, then you already have like all these tools to start digging into it. So Tormach uses HAL in all of its CNC tools, to connect the CNC application up above down out to the machine hardware. And so when we started the ZA6 project, we wanted to do the same thing, connecting ROS to our robot hardware. And so for that, we developed HAL ROS Control, which is that interface between ROS and HAL. So this is a typical, this diagram of a typical, like a robot application using Move It and ROS Control. Important thing in ROS Control is the controller manager. And HAL ROS Control, we actually run that in a HAL component. And so what you'll do in your launch file is you replace that part that brings up the ROS controller, and the controller manager, and you'll replace it with this chunk of code here, which is mostly copy and paste. It just starts up the HAL real-time environment, loads any components any HAL components that also are ROS nodes, and then you have to paste in the path to your HAL file there to connect all the pins and all that, and then you can launch your robot hardware with ROS Launch. The other thing that you get from HAL ROS Control is so if you're developing new hardware, usually you have to implement this ROS Control interface. It's the what is it, system interface, and that's an API you have to implement. So HAL ROS Control does that, and it basically takes your system interfaces from your ROS2 control URDF, gets the system interfaces and maps them into HAL pins that have names like joint 1 position command or joint 6 velocity feedback or something like that. And so once you've done this, if your hardware is something that HAL already has drivers for, like if it's EtherCAT or maybe it's a FPGA or BeagleBone GPIOs or whatever, then you load those drivers, bring your HAL pins, you connect the HAL pins together to the HAL ROS Control, and now ROS Control can talk to your hardware. It's pretty simple. We also have other interfaces for HAL pins to talk to ROS topics or services outside of ROS Control. A very simple Python interface. It does a lot of boilerplate for you there. And so this is a sort of a representative diagram of what a robot control might look like. So those two blue components there, the real-time components. The top one's the HAL ROS Control. The bottom one is the EtherCAT driver for HAL. In this example, we've got 6 joints where we're controlling position, command, and feedback. So you can see the signals there in the middle that are connecting those pins together. They've got your update functions on the left. On the right, we have a non-real-time HAL component. It's Python component that does the drive controls. So it's talking to the EtherCAT driver, and it's handling status word and control word for enabling, disabling drives and handling faults and things like that. And this is pretty much what the ZA6 configuration looks like. It's very much simplified, but it's underneath it's pretty much just like this. And so this is last slide before I give it back to Brandon here. This is kind of everything put together. On the left here, you see Tormach's robot user interface. So this is not something you get from Machine Kit HAL, but it's a great example of what you can do with HAL and ROS. On the bottom there, those DROs are just subscribing to the ROS joint state topics. Above that, that's embedded RViz there. See the robot 3D model. On the left there, that's Tormach's Python-based robot programming language that it's sending MoveLs or MoveJs, I forget there, to move it. Does the planning, sends it down to ROS Control. So on the right there, that's That's the HAL scope. So that's essentially at the ROS control level there. We've got four different things that we're showing. The top one is position feedback, and we have a velocity feedback. We have torque feedback, and on the bottom there, that's following error. So this is kind of an interesting example, I thought, because this is actually the real-time performance. There's something going wrong here, and we're missing the EtherCAT updates, and so you can see they're drop packets. That's what those little spikes are in that bottom curve there. And you can also see in here that there's some friction in the mechanical gearbox, and you can see that in both the following error and the second to bottom curve, the torque feedback. And so once you get your hardware hooked up, you can see the stuff immediately and start digging into these problems. It's really neat stuff. So machine kit HAL, HAL ROS control, and in everything in the ZA6 from move it on down to the EtherCAT master. It's all open source. You can get on our GitHub and get some of those pieces and try it out for yourself. And I hope it helps you guys connect your own robot hardware to ROS. And that's get back to Brandon here. Thanks.
So if you are interested in taking a look at the HAL ROS control bridge, feel free to scan this QR code, or you can just find us on GitHub to take a look at this. We also have a booth in the hall, so if you want to come by and talk to us, and we have a demo set up where you can actually see this working in real time, we'd love to come, or we'd love to talk to you about it and show you what we've been up to. Otherwise, we really appreciate the opportunity to do this, and thank you all.
Thank you both. We've got time for questions. John?
So the EtherCAT support in Machine Kit, HAL, does that give you built-in support for like the can open over EtherCAT motion profile and stuff like that, or do you have to do that all yourself by tweaking registers?
So there's the IGH EtherCAT master. That's a separate project, and then there's another separate project that's it's a driver for HAL that talks to that particular EtherCAT master.
We'll alternate stage left.
Yes, is 1 kilohertz the maximum frequency for the control loop? And if so, what are the limitations to go higher, like 4 kilohertz?
No, that's not the maximum. So Machine Kit HAL with ROS control, I think you can get up to several kilohertz. And then Machine Kit actually has some, like FPGA and other co-processors that you can use to get you up into like tens or hundreds of kilohertz.
Okay, and do you also allow torque commands to be sent to the robot, or is position control only?
So the ZA6 is position control, but there's no reason you couldn't put that into velocity or torque command mode.
Thank you.
So supported by the EtherCAT drives.
Back to the SED.
Hey, so I was wondering if you guys offer some sort of collision detection or some safety intervention, or is it left on the user to implement?
You asking about collision detection? So that's sort of like in higher layers than what I was talking about here. That happens in Move It, and yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
All right. I think our last question, Andreas.
Yeah, honestly, not the question. Just want to congratulate you finally bringing together those two open source islands of Linux CNC and ROS. There have been many attempts over the past decade. Thanks for making it happen finally.
No, thank you very much. Yeah.
All right. Great. Thank you, guys.